Howdy, my name is Derek Henry with XLEV8 Consulting, and in this how-to video we're going to talk about a macro called Refresh PowerPoint Slides. Now the idea of this is to use data in Excel, tables and ranges and charts, to refresh the content in a PowerPoint file, the different shapes and items within the different slides. Now I've done this in many ways in the past. You can even link a PowerPoint object to something from Excel like a table or a chart, but I've had bad experiences with that. I've had a situation where somebody used that PowerPoint file at an investor conference and somehow it got out of sync and it didn't have the most recent data. Imagine the chaos that created. So what I've found better is when you link these together, this macro that you're going to see today helps you very efficiently refresh the deck or the dynamic parts of it that should be changed based on what you're telling it to. Then you have a standalone file and it doesn't matter what people do with that, it's going to make sure that it's not going to be out of sync. So how do we get started with this? Well, the first thing we're going to do is use the macro search box, that's the easiest way, to run a macro called Refresh PowerPoint Slides. Now, just type some part of that, pick it from the list. It's going to create a settings sheet. And we're going to be able to fill in things like at the top here, what file should be updated, what PowerPoint file, the entire path, just like the example shows. What sheet in this file, the one that's going to have Excel, has the different things or the list of what we want to update. And then down below, which columns correspond with the slide name contained in the content. What type is it? Is it a range or a picture? What is the file in Excel, which by the way needs to be open, so we need the full path of that, and then also the sheet and the range name, and then ultimately the shape name. So we need all these things to be able to make this work. We got to fill these in, and we want to make a list. Now rather than watch me do that from scratch, here's one that's already put together. Here's the PowerPoint file, here's the sheet within this file that's going to have the list. Here are the different columns that contain the data points that we need. So if we click over to that one, you'll see that we have the slide name, the source type, the description of what that is. That's just handy for note purposes. What file, what sheet, what range name, and then in the PowerPoint file, what the shape name is. Now a lot of people are like, I don't know what the shape name is. I don't know what the slide name is. How do I get those things very quickly without having to copy and paste or to go into the PowerPoint settings? There are a couple of macros within here in the add-in that you can use to easily export a list of all the slides or the shapes and even make changes to those. So rather than have one say like rectangle 5 or circle 6 or whatever you might be updating, use that to get a list of everything and name things quickly and easily in bulk and consistently. And that's what I did to name the slides, right? There's only one slide in this example, but that's why it's the, this name you're seeing here. And then the shape names. That's how we easily and quickly use those. They're actually the exact same as a range name in Excel. That's intentional. So those macros are going to help you do that efficiently. So once you've filled this in, okay, just so you understand what we're doing here, this is what we want to update with. This is our content in Excel. It's probably based on pivot charts, pivot tables, data itself, whatever. And the PowerPoint file looks like this. Notice it says August. It only has a 25-month trail of August to August. We want to update each of these 4 charts and the heading, and we want to do that based on this data right here. Okay? So what you want to do is go to that sheet that has the items you want to update, select any part of the rows that you want to update. It could be the first cell, could be somewhere in the middle, could be the entire row, whatever you want to do. Once you have the cells selected within the rows that you want to update in this sheet that you're specifying, then you want to run it again. Refresh PowerPoint Slides. Now what it's going to do is loop through each of these, and as long as that file is open, which in this case it's the same file that we have the listing in, that doesn't have to be the case, but it is in this one, it's going to update those items for you. So if we go back over to the PowerPoint file, September, and look, all of our data has been copied over. These are all pictures from that Excel file. Now, just to give you some context of how powerful this is, in the past we had 125 or so slides in a deck. Each of those had several items in them, shapes or charts or ranges or whatever, that had to be updated. This was able to do it in just a couple of minutes. Now, that's really efficient, but the reason it really changed the game for us was because before we just have to live with it even if there was one little mistake, or we'd have to go back in manually and make sure that we would update the mistake, and hopefully we caught it in all the different places it might have been. This way we could start over from scratch as long as the source data itself is intact and we had checks and balances in place within the data in Excel. As long as that was good, we could easily and quickly get this into PowerPoint files. Better quality, quicker results, and we had more time in which to review things before we ultimately presented them to whoever the audience was. So hopefully you found that helpful. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.